Hello and welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. Make sure you smash the like button as you're watching this video and on replay, and of course subscribe to the channel if you're new, and get in the comment section, whether it's in the live chat or on replay, about this Thomas Tuchel England squad, and of course what Unai Emery has to say about his vision at Aston Villa. Big up to each and every single one of you. I hope you're well. I hope you're ready for a nice show this evening, and hope everyone's week has gone well. But of course today was the announcement of the England squad, in which England have got their first game in 2025. The March 2025 international calendar has arisen, and whether you like it or not, international football, it sits hit and miss, and sometimes people only get up for it for the major tournaments. And probably as an England fan, then we've sort of been sucked away with the fact that, we've had Gareth Southgate, and he has almost killed our passion and joy for England. So it is a little bit of a new era. There is excitement for that. But of course, the reason why I am a little bit more excited than ever is because we've got more Aston Villa representation. And Aston Villa representation in the England squad draws me interested. And especially if players like Morgan Rogers, Ezri Konsa, and Marcus Rashford get the big start. So that's everything to talk about today. We're going to also look at some key omissions from Thomas Tuchel's squad. The likes of, Jack Grealish omitted, Ollie Watkins not included, and some other names as well. And we're going to share that. And then, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Unai Emery as well, people. So big up to you guys. We've got Callum in the chat. How are you, Callum? Hope you're well. And hope you're really good. And thanks for tuning in today. Big up to Michael Huggins as well. Good to see you in here. And Callum said Mingsley deserves a spot. Absolutely. I understand even Watkins out. He's been good, but definitely not the levels of pre-Euros. Look, there's a lot to discuss here. So I'm going to jump straight into it. Let's get the England squad up on our screens right now and divulge into this, because the goalkeeper department for me, always an interesting one, really. Are we ever going to see a new era of goalkeepers, or is Jordan Pickford still what people would say is as the number one choice? Is he the man in which we want to see represent us in a major tournament? Hard to know. But those are the goalkeepers in which we have gone with. We've got Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale, and James Trafford. And look, when we look at these choices, it's uninspiring. Again, I think you look at the quality of what we've got. Aaron Ramsdale, and Dean Henderson, for me, are never the echelons of what an England first choice goalkeeper should ever be. I really do mean that. I just think that they're nowhere near the levels of what you'd expect. And Jordan Pickford, of course, has been that household stable name that we've become accustomed to and known to. But is he, again, someone that for the next 4 years is going to hold down an England shirt? Would be very worrying for me if he has. So where is the next up-and-coming breed? Well, as Callum has said, Trafford should be the next number 2. So, look, let's see with that one. Michael said, I may be wrong, but I believe Villa have had more players representing England than any other club. We will look into that. So there we go. Big up to the gang coming in. Big up to Meeks. As I said, this was a bit of a out of the blue stream tonight. Big up to my man Meekin in the chat. Oi, oi. Hope you're well, Meeks. And Craw's in the house as well. Member for 26 months. Love it. Thank you so much, Craw. You're absolute legend. Over 2 years. One of our own in the AVFTS camp. And we've got the goalkeeper union. Oh, perfect timing. Here he is. Super Matty Taylor in the house. He said Pickford is underrated. Now, Jordan Pickford probably had one of his best major tournaments in the last outing for England, and definitely changed people's opinions on him. I think why maybe people are questioning is, has Jordan Pickford ever had competition for the shirt? Is Dean Henderson, Aaron Ramsdale, and James Trafford enough competition for Jordan Pickford? At the moment, my honest opinion is no. I don't think there is enough competition for him. I don't see them. So I still think Pickford is there. So not really too much to talk about the goalkeepers, but I'm very keen to get into the defenders. Now, here we go. Defenders. Let's start on this first row. Yeah, definitely that. He has no competition. I agree, Super Matty. I agree on that. And that's the problem, isn't it? When there's no competition, you're drying out. Now, defenders FC. Let's talk real now. Dan Burn, honestly, got nothing against the guy. That is a very surprise pick. Now, whether he's being used as a left back option or whether a back three, because I'm pretty sure Tommy Tuchel's going to play a back three. The Dan Burn selection is absolutely crazy, and the fact that he hasn't even got a picture on the official FA website sums it up. Levi Colwell and Mark Gay. Again, I'm not going to jump on the Levi Colwell bandwagon too much. I don't actually rate Levi Colwell, and I want to know your guys' thoughts on that. Levi Colwell, how good is he? Is he hyped up enough or not? Is he the man? Or is he a little bit gassed up? Is he a little bit too much? Mark Gay, again, do I think Ezri Konsa is better than this guy? 100%. And I want to put this on record. I think Ezri Konsa is better than Mark Gay. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? By the way, still to this day, cracks me up that people still try and pronounce this guy as Mark Gui or Mark Guay or Mark Guhai or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Mark Gay has come out and said his name is Mark Gay. So when you see commentators try and do all this fancy stuff, allow it. So I want to know, is Ezri Konsa better than those two centre-halves? First and foremost, yes. And then I'm going to ask the second question. Is Tyrone Mings better than these two guys? Let me know your thoughts. Predominant thoughts, feelings and emotions on that. But yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. Do get involved in the chat. And of course, as well, smash the like button if you haven't done so already. I'd really appreciate that. All those four are overrated. James will get injured warming up. Absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Now, Reece James, probably one player I'll give a bit of credit to. Reece James, I think, has revived himself a little bit in his Chelsea little comeback. I think he has stepped up a little bit more. But again, as Super Matty said, this guy gets injured, looking at grass. He genuinely gets way too injured. And you can tell, by the way, his omission from the England squad by the kit that he's got on. Same sort of era as Marcus Rashford. It's been a while since Reece James has been amongst England. But I tell you what, I'd rather Reece James than Kyle Walker any day of the week. And I'll tell you this even further. I'd rather Reece James than Kieran Trippier. Right now, Ty's better than most of these picks, and Michael says Mings is better as well. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be waving on the flag for Tyrone Mings a lot. So I'm thinking, okay, not a bad bunch of defenders. Let's go to the second line here. Now, this is where it gets interesting. A new era. No Maguire, no Stones. You know what I mean? There's no Maguire-Stones combo. This is where we are. Look, Ezri Konsa, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Timo Livramento, and Jamal Quansah. Quansah, a rogue shout. A rogue shout indeed. But Arne Slot would argue that he's been a very versatile defender as well. When I look at Thomas Tuchel's selections, it seems that he's going for versatility. That's how I describe it. Players who can play on numerous positions. Quansah certainly can play as a centre-half. He can play on the right of a back four. He can play in a back three. The same as Ezri Konsa. Brings the same skill set as Ezri Konsa. I think Ezri has a real big chance of starting for England now, regularly. I really do. Miles Lewis-Skelly, looking at that left-back spot, maybe him versus Dan Burn. But the one name that does piss me off in this squad, and by the way, I can't really comment too much on Livramento. He's had one senior cap. By the way, this Ezri Konsa's on 9 now, which is really cool. But Livramento, one senior cap. Don't watch enough of Newcastle to form a solid opinion on Livramento. But how good is this guy? Does anyone have an opinion on Livramento? Let me know. Is he a regular starter for Newcastle even? And then finally, how is this guy still getting picked for England? How is this guy still getting picked for England? Is this just me? Am I being crazy biased or what? How is Kyle Walker still getting picked for England? This guy was finished. This guy was absolutely finished. Just make him larger. This guy was absolutely finished for me in the last major tournament. I never wanted to see him grace the England shirt again. I don't want to see him represent England in major competitions. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Brutal as it is, I don't get Kyle Walker. I don't really like him as a person either. And I just think that he's not even a leader. He bottled it at Man City. I'm going to be real. This guy's got bottle job written all over him. Maybe epitomised the last England campaign. This guy's a bottle job. Fact. Farmy's in the house. He said, you flip out if you heard how the Norwegian commentators pronounce Martinez. Absolute shit. I cringe every game. How bad? How can you get Martinez wrong? Can you get Martinez wrong? What are these Norwegian guys doing? But yeah, Pete and Super Matty are glad that Tyrone Mings isn't called up. I get that injury concerns. The only thing I would say is sometimes picking the best players isn't always they can't fit into the system the manager wants to play. Agree. Meeks reckons Meeks reckons he's probably being picked for the dressing room influence. So yeah, why I don't like him as a person is I think he shirks. I think he shirks big moments. I think he comes across quite arrogant as well on the interviews that he does as a footballer. I've just never liked the vibe of Kyle Walker. I don't know why. I've never liked the vibe of Kyle Walker. I also genuinely believe as well, I'm going to bang his drum. He bottled it with Man City. He took a little bit of a, not saying it's right because it's not right. He had a bit of abuse online. And anyone who goes too far with abuse, anyone who goes too far with going with death threats, with racial slurs, all that, do not condemn whatsoever. But I think Kyle Walker didn't like that. Actually, some pundits as well were calling out his performances. Pep Guardiola called out his performances. And I think Kyle Walker basically went, F you, I'm better than this, I'm going. Ta-da. That's how I saw the Kyle Walker situation, in my opinion. Just don't like, I think there's an arrogance there of, yes, you're one of the quickest over the ground, but for me, prefer Reece James. So there we go. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys rate Kyle Walker as well? Like, as a player? Like, genuinely, Kyle Walker, for me, last couple of years at Manchester City, he's been more of a right-sided centre-half, isn't it? As opposed to a right back. So yeah, Super Matt, waiting for the midfield. Yeah, we will absolutely get into that midfield, no doubt about it. And Peter said the squad is good enough for these 2 games. They're basically friendly games, aren't they, Pete? So there we go. And big up Heidi. Said, hi, love, miss you tonight. Miss you too, love. She's at work, grinding away. Big up Heidi. She's on the meds round at the moment. Big up the healthcare. And she's we FaceTime before came on, and she's doing a smashing job. So thanks for tuning in, love. Miss you too. Let's go into the next part then. Let's go into the next part, which is the midfielders. Now, Super Matt, you get the keyboard ready. Let's break down this midfield, shall we? Because I'm interested to know what you guys think of this midfield. Let's even try and get a bit bigger, shall we? Let's even get a bit bigger. Right. Eze, Hendo, Curtis Jones, Cole Palmer. Where do we start? Okay, Eberechi Eze, up-and-coming talent. We know he's, going to be a future England star. Had to carry Crystal Palace a lot. Deserved call-up. Jordan Henderson. Now, is this the same reason that Kyle Walker is included as what Meeks has said? Dressing room influence. I thought we would be past the stages of Jordan Henderson being a cheerleader. I genuinely thought we were past the Jordan Henderson cheerleading experience. Someone please tell me why this guy's there. I mean, he even left Ajax this season, didn't he? He actually, oh gosh, 1 second. Oh, I'm having a wardrobe malfunction here. Apologies. Who did Henderson leave Ajax for? I'm having an absolute mind blank there for a second because I can go. Who did Henderson jump ship for? He went from Ajax to. It's gonna come to me. I feel like he went to Italy. Someone help me out here. Who did Henderson go to? Who did Henderson go to? I'm sure one of the comments will help me out. But ultimately, this guy was England's cheerleader. Jordan Henderson was England's cheerleader. He put on the pom-poms. He was in the change rooms, and he was a vocal cheerleader. Then all of a sudden, Gareth Southgate played him in a game and realised that we need Henderson on the pitch to shout and bark at people. And Henderson kept himself in the England squad for a bit. Then he went to Saudi Arabia, messed all that up and his sort of legacy as such. Quickly boycott Saudi Arabia, goes to Ajax. And now Jordan Henderson has somehow got himself back in the bloody England setup. He now plays for, or is he still at Ajax? Have I just made this up that he left? Damn, I must have had a dream about him leaving. No, he's still at Ajax. Or was it a transfer rumour then? Apologies, Jordan Henderson is still at Ajax. I don't know why, for the life of me. I don't know why I thought Jordan Henderson left Ajax. I've either read a really bad transfer rumour and never followed it up, or I've dreamt it. It's one of those things that happens. There we go. Jordan Henderson, the T-boy, as Pete said. Michael said he's not got the legs for international football, and Super Matt is saying, why do players need cheerleading? Why do players need cheerleading playing for your country? I honestly don't get it. He's still at Ajax. I just don't understand this dressing room influence, right? I don't understand this dressing room influence. Oh, he's good for the dressing room. So, what's he doing on the pitch? What's he doing on the pitch? Me and you could be great for the dressing room. Me and you in the chat could be great motivators in the dressing room, but we can't kick a ball. We're no use. So, I don't want to see this man starting, but I'm scared that Thomas Tuchel will. Thoughts and feelings on Curtis Jones and people. Do we like Curtis Jones? Do we rate Curtis Jones? Do we think this guy is a good talent? Do we think this guy is a good talent? Let me know. Because I'm sort of looking at him going, I can't make up my mind on Curtis Jones. I really can't. 1 minute, I think he's a key player for Liverpool and they need him. The next minute, you feel like they can cope without him. I think he's just an average player. I don't think I think that he needs regular game time to flourish, which he doesn't get at Liverpool. Now, if he came to a club like, as Superman said, Villa, and he played week in, week out, you may get a better product there. Curtis Jones, for me, is definitely one of those lads who needs to play every week to get the best out of him. I think Curtis Jones, the fact he's in this England squad is very interesting with Eze. It's a future building one. Cole Palmer, now, this guy, the ghost, you'd forget he's only had 11 England caps. Of course, he was the man that everyone was crying out for in the last major tournament to start, must play, must start. Is it the same shout for Cole Palmer now? Where is Cole Palmer's best position? And how on earth do we fit him into this England setup? That's the big questions I've got about Cole Palmer. Chelsea fans will tell you that this guy's missed every big game this season. Now, again, no doubt about it, Cole Palmer will shine against your likes of Albanians and your Lithuanians. But will Cole Palmer shine against your Italies, your Spains, your France? That's what I care about. Chelsea fans will tell you this guy's ghosted all season against the big time teams. And you've got to listen to Chelsea fans about that because, you know, that's their star boy. They wouldn't really make that up, would they? Palmer or Rodgers, Sir Josh, your 10. 100% Morgan Rodgers. No joke. No bias, no joke. Palmer's my right wing or nothing. So there we go. So yeah, let's go down to the next line then. And there it is. Deckers and Morgan. Look at Morgan. 2 senior appearances. Well done, Morgs. Absolutely love it. Look, before we get into that, by the way, if you're in the stream, make sure you smash a like on the stream right now. We're going to go through this England squad and we're going to quickly look at some of Unai Emery's comments. Got over 20 of you in it. Let's try and get at least 15 likes on the stream right now. Smash the like button. Massively appreciate it. And thank you for all your support. And loving the interaction in the comments. Please feel free to comment all your thoughts, feelings of all the things that we're bringing up tonight. Really do appreciate it. So, look, Peter said, no, I hope no Villa players have to play and potentially get injured. These are not international games consequences. Walk in, stay at home and get healthy, says Peter. And look, that is a lot of people's feelings when it comes to international break. That's the sort of magnitude of where we're at, that people really, really do not like the international break because of the fear of injuries. And Declan Rice is no doubt going to go into that 6th role. He's going to hold that midfield. Morgan Rodgers, for me, out of all these players, starts. Rodgers definitely starts over Hendo, Jones, and Eze. I'm going to say Rodgers starts over all of them. So my number 10 is Morgan Rodgers. I actually said this in my video earlier. Big up to Niall Kane as well. Welcome in the chat. I said this earlier. I said that England should actually start to try and build the team around Morgan Rodgers. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. But I think the England team has to have a central base of attack around Morgan Rodgers. Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, they can be the side players. They can be the side parts. Build this team around Morgan Rodgers. I'm telling you, Tommy, it's going to be the way forward. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's really interesting. I quite like that it's not full of superstars, but it's got enough in it. Now, this is where it gets weird and interesting because you forget the forwards. Who are the forwards? Well, how are these players forwards? That's what I want to know. Jude Bellingham, Jared Bowen, Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon. Oh, there's a lot of players I do not like there. Do you know what? I've got a lot of credit for Jared Bowen. I think Jared Bowen's a proper grafter, proper hard-working footballer, proper gets his head down. And I don't know. I've always had a soft spot for Jared Bowen. Jude Bellingham. You're either going to love him or hate him. Jude Bellingham. Do we love him or hate him? Jude Bellingham is one of those players that I think is on that line of being too arrogant for the English football team, thinks he's better than the rest because he's a Galactico at such a young age. He was put into Gareth Southgate's leadership group very late on. Just want to know, what do we think of Jude Bellingham? Because I think I'm going off this player a lot. Phil Foden, really bad season for Foden standards. Again, classic case with Foden. Where does he play? Where does he fit for England? And Anthony Gordon, yeah, I honestly do not rate Anthony Gordon. Don't like him, don't rate him. That's personal opinion. I would love to know your thoughts on these four players. Let me know. Supermatic says, am I the only one who thinks Rice is underrated and a lot better than simply being a CDM? I think people would say that Rice can crash it as an 8. I think people would say Rice got the ability to be an 8. Scored a good goal against Man United the other week. He's got good technical ability. But England are calling out for a CDM. I mean, are we that desperate that we'd go back for Calvin Phillips? No. What we need is a Boubacar Kamara of England. That's what we need. We need a Kamara of England. But yeah, that's what I'd say on that. Big up AVFC85. Big up to my mum as well in the house. AVFC said, what a win the other night. Been super busy. It's not been on much. Usual, still buzzing from it. Great to see you. Hope you're well. I know you said you're juggling all sorts as well. So great to have you in the chat every now and then. Bowen is a great player. If he's in a better team, I think he'll really start flying. I really like Bowen. But yeah, I'll only take the blue nose from those four. See, I like Jared Bowen. I don't know why. Pete said he would swap Bailey for Bowen. Agree on that. I'd rather swap Watkins for him. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It's a big shout. It's a big shout. So let's go into the second line of forwards. Now, no doubt about it. My man Harry Kane, 103 senior caps, 69 goals. Bloody love it. Bloody love it. Harry Kane, no doubt about it. Tommy Tuchel, get the best out of this man. Get this man firing because we're going to absolutely need it. Get Rodgers in behind him and then build a left and a right side. Dom Solanke, I feel for you. You're only in that squad because Watkins has probably said no. Again, I'm going to hold reservation on Solanke. I want to see how he does at Spurs. Is he really that top level player? And then the man in between them. Hard work pays off. And this is what I said in my video earlier. This inclusion of Marcus Rashford always justifies to me the reason of why you should take a loan deal in life. If you're a player who isn't happy at a club, if you're a player who's not getting minutes, if you're a player who's fallen out of line in an international setup, Jack Grealish, then you need to make a move and you need to do it fast. Marcus Rashford has acted very quickly and taken a loan deal, and it has unbelievably paid off. I read something earlier that Marcus Rashford has made 16 key passes since January or something, or since he moved to Aston Villa, the most across any player in Europe. Rashford, as well, as I said, has rarely started a game, or when he has started, he's never played a full 90. He's either done a 60-minute job or a 30-minute job. He's not had 90s. And he's still got this unbelievable start to Villa with assists. I think he's on 4 assists now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 4. You know, still not got that goal, but he's been unbelievably positive. And for me, this loan deal has just gone even better now. Rashford's got to look at this loan deal and gone, wow, it's got me back in the England squad. And second of all, he's got to be going, do you know what? I'd be stupid to go anywhere else now. I found a bit of a home at Aston Villa. The manager likes what I'm doing at Aston Villa. The England manager likes what I'm doing at Aston Villa. Maybe I should stay at Aston Villa. And I really, really hope Watkins, not Watkins, I really hope Rashford learns from this now. I hope he's humbled himself. I hope he's just taken that step back, reflected and gone, getting this England call, it's massive. And therefore, I'm going to go back to the Jack Grealish situation. Jack Grealish not included in an England squad. Jack Grealish is no doubt an England fan favourite. The whole of England love it when Jack Grealish pulls on that England shirt, when he was tearing it up at Wembley in the Euros, and people were right behind it. Grealish was the show. Grealish was the man. Grealish was the maverick. Well, I'm afraid, Jack Grealish, you've lost that spot now to Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers is that man. Jack Grealish, if he does not leave Manchester City this summer, he needs help. Someone needs to go give him help, support, counselling. Because This is what I'm talking about. You've lost your England place now. You've lost your England place. It's absolutely crazy. So I'm just trying to think if there's any other examples of players out there who basically have fallen off a cliff in terms of their career and needed to find that move. You know, I wouldn't use people like Dele Alli because his is a little bit different, I would say, in his drop off. But I'm just trying to think of anyone. I mean, Calvin Phillips for me is another prime one. Don't rate Calvin Phillips, but Calvin Phillips being a mainstay in the England squad, to them basically going to Man City, ruining himself at Manchester City, then having a really bad loan move after loan move after loan move, and just Phillips has lost his international status. But there we go. All right, let me come to some of the comments now. But yeah, Harry Kane is so disrespected. His record at international. Harry Kane is world class. I won't have another word about him. He's finally going to win the Bundesliga, touch wood. And you never know, Bayern on a good side of Europe. I'd love a Villa Bayern Munich final. I would. But there we go. Then I'd really be torn on. Michael says Solanke would be good under Emery. Absolutely. 85 says he likes Watkins. He's a good all-round player, but the main job he has in the team, he does not do. Take the big chances. There's always going to be that discussion around, isn't it? Villa have been taking great care of Rashford by keeping away from the press. Yeah, Unai's definitely sorted him out. Would I take Jack Grealish back? How weird. I was literally on FaceTime to Heidi earlier, and on the way in, as we were walking back from the shop with Star, we basically got onto the subject of Jack Grealish because she was asking me what I was doing about my stream. I said I'd take him back. I'd welcome him back. I'd basically forgive him. And I genuinely believe that Unai Emery would put his arm around him and change him. I do think that the manager will put his arm around Jack Grealish and say, look, settle down now. Let's get your life sorted. Let's get all the off-the-field crap sorted. You've got 10 years now. Stay here for life. Get your statue back. That's what I'd say. Get your statue back. And I think that can be achievable. I think that we also need to remember that Jack Grealish's sale basically saved us in a way. But listen, if a player wants to come back and is humble, you take him back. And he's already hinted it, hasn't he? I don't know if anyone's seen, but Grealish put out he put out a Instagram post. I think it was when he scored against the Blues or something. He said "Love Villa forever," something like that. There was a bit of it, but yeah, I don't know. MA is outrageous good business. But yeah, Marcus Rashford in Asensio is just one of the best pieces of business probably in the last decade from any Premier League team on loan at a crucial time. I genuinely believe that. I actually put that out there. And yeah, Jack doesn't need to look after himself, Michael. Destroyed his career at City, 100%. Pete says Kane needs to stop dropping deep. Now, I think that's on the manager, Pete. Honestly believe that's a managerial thing. The first, if you want to talk about where Harry Kane started dropping deep, it was actually under Jose Mourinho at Spurs. Mourinho wanted Kane to drop deep, and he then had Heung-min Son playing higher and running in behind, and those two had an unbelievable combination under Jose Mourinho. But Kane, for me, if you watch Bayern Munich, again, different role, just a poacher. He knows that the players behind him are good enough to provide with him. And therefore, we can say, I think Kane's frustration for England has always been he hasn't received enough of the ball. England haven't played good enough or to his strengths, and he's lost out on that. Such the same Grealish, the second season there looked like he's established himself. Yeah, Grealish didn't celebrate his first Premier League title at City, basically, because he said he didn't play enough for part of it. He was a bit part player in their first season. Second season, their treble year for him, he was flying, absolutely flying. And don't know if it. Do you know what I think it was actually that probably put Pep off Grealish? Was the way in which he celebrated the treble afterwards. It was too viral. It was too public. Grealish went on a mad bender, right in the limelight, and Pep's probably looked at that and gone, "Idiot." Do you know what I mean? I genuinely believe that was the moment again that Grealish sort of ruined it for him. That he actually went too far with the treble. Now, some of you sit back there and go, hey, he's a human. He can do what he wants. Absolutely. But I also think that when you put yourself in the spotlight like that as a Manchester City player and the rest of the players aren't doing that, and that's the equivalent, the rest of the Man City squad aren't going as far as he is, that's when he probably stuck out and said, you're not quite right, Jack. And then how did he come back? How was his work rate after? What did Pep see in him to go, do you know what? I'm gonna get other players to come in now. The fact he was starting that Savinho above him, there's some, Grealish really has fallen down that pecking order at City. But yeah, Matty would go up and drive and get himself, absolutely. Look, he has to ground himself, Grealish. And if this isn't a wake-up call to him right now, then I don't know what will be. Last summer, not getting included in Gareth Southgate's squad should have been the biggest wake-up call of his life. To then get benched for City and now not get picked for this one, you should be on the phone to your agent going, right, find me a club. Let's get this ball rolling. I need to get out of Manchester right now. That's where you should be at. I need to get out of Manchester right now. No messing around. And as AVFC85 said, it's unprofessional, exactly. 100% agree. So, look, that's the England squad that Thomas Tuchel's gone with. There are some players who are out injured and not included, the likes of Trent, Ollie Watkins. There's Tommy Tuchel, smart man, isn't he? But yeah, look, I think the midfield will be interesting. I think that, he's going to have a tough job. And the defence is going to be new. That's what I'm quite looking forward to, is seeing the defence. Who does Thomas Tuchel play in defence? Where does he go with that defence? And let's see. Let's absolutely see on that. Right, let's have a quick look at some of the Unai Emery comments that caught my attention today, because there was something that he said about his ambitions and aims, and I love this about Unai. I love it when we get a snippet on what he thinks or feels. Like, are we in a good place? Here is this stat, by the way. Let me get this Rashford stat up for you. Have a look at this. Yeah, how long does Grealish have left on his contract? That's a really good point. Does anyone know how long Grealish has left on his contract? Have a look at this one. Since the beginning of February, Marcus Rashford has made 16 key passes across all competitions, which is more than any top-flight English player. Direct impact right there. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that in terms of what we're looking at, in terms of a player that is trying to make a real impact. So, yeah, big fan of that. Big fan of that. Let me get this. Yeah, and again, big fan of this. Marcus Rashford on Instagram. Never stop believing. Can't wait to get started. That's a player who's focused. That's a player who's not going out celebrating or drinking. That's a player who's realised that I've got to get my career back on track. I've got to ground myself. I've got to humble myself. I've got to work things out here. And fair play to Marcus. I think, do you know what? I think he's going to come off this international break as well. I think he's going to score against Preston North End. I think he will. I think he will. Right, Unai Emery. Here we go. My Unai chat. By the way, big up to all the chat. Loving all your interaction in the chat. As I said, if you haven't hit the like button yet, then please make sure you do so. Right. Stephen Matty said that if Kane did get injured, who'd be his replacement? I think it's the only real no bias. Ollie Watkins, got to be right. Michael said top athletes know that alcohol damages the body. I don't have a problem with having a drink, but as an athlete, you should be advised better. Yeah, just some players are really badly advised by their agents, and Rashford, as I said, has basically taken good advice. I think he's humbled himself. I think he's got his ground there. I've just seen, by the way, Total Villa has just tweeted saying, no idea how Rashford's got in over Hudson-Odoi. You got me mad. You got me mad. I mean, there are no Nottingham Forest players, by the way, in this England squad. I don't know who's worth a shout for Forest, whether it should be Hudson-Odoi, whether it should be Yates. I don't know. But you know what? Rashford, for me, 100% has to be in this England squad. It's the right move. But he's humbled himself. He's grounded himself. He's worked hard. Grealish now, what are you going to do? What's your response? What is your response? Do you want it or not? That's all I would say to Grealish now. Do you want it or not? But yeah, no Forest players in the England squad. I can't think of any other Forest players who would be worthy of it. Right. Unai Emery. When I arrived, my objective was to compete for trophies and qualify for Europe, which we managed in each of the first 2 seasons. We have our vision of how we want to increase our level and achieve different things. Now, I was fascinated with this from Unai. Absolutely fascinated with this. Because technically, his objectives of compete for trophies and qualify for Europe, he has done. We're on course, again, to be doing that. You could say more than ever that we're on course to compete for trophies. I think if we get to a semi-final of an FA Cup, we're basically there, competing, in my opinion. And qualifying for Europe, top 5, top 6 finish. The good thing is the Premier League table, and we'll have a look at it in a minute. The Premier League table will get sorted this weekend. What I've not liked about the Premier League table is that it's not been the same amount of games played. And so we're sort of guessing about who's where and how many points we are. It will level itself out this weekend. So we'll have a look at that. But Unai's objectives there, as I said, is to say that he has wanted us to compete and qualify. Now, the next big question that I've got to ask is, when does competing for trophies change into winning trophies? Now, that's the next bit I'm looking at with Unai Emery. And big up to Steve Matt. He said, right, breakover. Have a good evening, clans, Josh. At the Villa, PS, quarterfinals, Champions League and FA Cup, and we still get top 5. Bloody love the optimism. Great to have you in the chat, actually, Matty. I've missed your interactions. And I've changed numbers, so I will give you a text, my friend. Big up to you. And as AVFC85 said, the goal difference is a problem. We'll go into that. But yeah, good to have you in this. You may enjoy the rest of your shift. And as I said, he's one of our own. 32 months, a legend. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. Super Matty. He's one of our own. Legend. Absolute legend. What a guy. But yeah. When does competing and not winning trophies become that line? Are we saying to Unai, you've got another 2 years of competing and then we want to win? Because it says here that last line, we have our vision of how we want to increase our level and achieve different things. He's got to be. And by the way, this guy loves winning trophies. Before he joined Villa, he won a trophy every other season. That's how hungry he is for trophies. Unai Emery won a trophy every other season as manager. That was his record. He's joined Villa. He nearly won the Conference League. You know, again, I think that will haunt him a little bit. They never won that, to keep that every other season record up. That's why I wonder, this year, does he believe that he's due a trophy? He is a serial trophy winner. He does love winning trophies. He's got an incredible trophy to season record. But I've got to ask those questions because I was going to say this. Newcastle and Eddie Howe going to a Carabao Cup final this weekend. Now, I know they're playing Liverpool, but there's going to be a time where Geordies and Newcastle fans don't just want to be finalists or the nearly men. They'll want to be the we competed men to we're winners. And that's the difference. And that's where I want Villa to change and evolve. Don't want us to start being top 4 challengers. I want us to be top 4 every season. But I then want us to be, we're going to win a trophy this year. We should be trying to win the Carabao or the FA Cup. We should be trying to go far in a European competition. That's the sort of thing. And so I'm talking about Unai. Maybe after this season, the expectation will come into the next 2 years of, here's more money, but we need a silverware now to back it up. And we need Europe top 4. The only way we get Champions League is winning the Champions League. I've said that. So there we go. Yeah, I agree, Michael Huggins. And Pete says we'll win the FA Cup this year. I bloody hope so, mate. So, look, all I want to say is Unai Emery is basically telling us that he's competing for trophies and he's trying to qualify for Europe. That's his aim as a manager. But I can tell there's going to be that crossover soon where the expectation will be you must win a trophy. Otherwise, you're... I wonder if that is ever going to be the case. But finally, last look at the Premier League table. Finishing 5th could get us Champions League as well. Right. We're on 45 points. Man City on 47. All these teams will play 29 points at the weekend. Now, I'm going to take worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is that the likes of Brighton, Man City and Chelsea all win. Okay? Brighton then go 4 points clear of us. Man City go 5 points clear of us. And Chelsea have got Arsenal. I'm praying Arsenal do us a job. I'd love to keep Chelsea only 4 points clear of us. If Chelsea beat Arsenal and they go 7 points clear, we ain't catching them. That's the bottom line. We're not catching Chelsea if they beat Arsenal at the weekend. So for the love of Arsenal, please, please. And all of a sudden, Arsenal becoming a top 4 race. Imagine if Arsenal don't get a top 4. They actually slide down. And this is why it's fascinating. But here's our problem. -4. -4 goal difference. Absolutely pathetic. That -4 is going to destroy us this season, I think. I think it's going to cost us a European spot of magnitude. I really do. So, look, Brighton have gone on 4 wins on the bounce. Lucky buggers. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, Palace putting some run of form together. If they win, they're only a couple points behind us. This could be one of the tightest European races I've ever seen from fourth for top 4, 5, 6, and 7. This genuinely could be one of the tightest European races ever across all the spots. I don't know if anyone else has seen a league like this before. This is unbelievable with Crystal Palace right in the fold as well. I genuinely think that this could be one of the tightest. So we need a bit of favours from other teams. We also need to go and do our business as well. We've got to play some of those top teams again. So do we get top 5? I think you've got to realise, chat, getting top 7 is going to be hard this season. You just have to look about Crystal Palace behind us, and we'll have to keep an eye on these results. But there's a real possibility that Aston Villa could not get a European spot in any echelon of competition. Hence why we've got to go win the goddamn Champions League. So there we go. But yeah, nuts, absolutely nuts. But yeah, I just want to say big up to Pete. So some of our results this season have been absolutely shocking, have cost us the European spot. And I'll tell you what has cost us our summer transfer window. If we don't get a European spot and we come close, I'm going to go absolutely crazy because I think our summer transfer window has cost us. Our January transfer window might have saved us. Our summer one cost us last year. Michael Runner, love that. And AVFC still believes we'll finish 5th. Love it. People, it's been an absolute pleasure. Of course, there's no Villa this weekend, but if you do want a watch long or a chill stream with me, we're going to cover the Carabao Cup final on Big Up this weekend. We thought, why not? And let's watch Liverpool-Newcastle go for the first piece of English silverware. So if you do want a football watch along this weekend, that will be on Big Up. It will be the Sunday game, and hopefully you guys can come and join for a bit of a chilled stream on that one. I know it's a neutral one, but it's a game of football. There is no Villa. And we'll be doing a lot more England content, a lot more of these talk streams. We will absolutely be doing a lot more of these talk streams in the next couple of weeks in the nights because there's no content and we just want to talk and chill. So, yeah, big up to everyone. Under 18s won 3-0 in the FA Cup against Plymouth. Big up to them. My dad's may have already been said, but Grealish is another Rashford. Had this time and success at their clubs, but now need to get a fire in their bellies back at a new club. Exactly. That's what I said. Grealish should be on the phone to his agent saying, hey, we need out now. Enough of Manchester. It's time to come home. So, yeah, I agree. But we're going to wrap this one up. People, make sure you smash the like button on the way out. Make sure you get in the comments. And if you want to leave a comment on this stream after the video, if you've just come in or any other things that you want to make sure is seen or read by me, then comment after this video. The comment section will be available. And yeah, hopefully see you all for the Carabao Cup final on Sunday for a bit of a watch along. And if there's anything major that happens tomorrow, I'm sure we'll break it, but I don't think there will be. And yeah, let's see how these Premier League results go this weekend. As I said, this league table is going to be evened out because everyone's going to be on 29 games and we're going to see where we're at. Pray for Arsenal to beat Chelsea. That's all I'm going to say. That one gives me faith because it keeps Chelsea only 4 points away from us. Captain, never too late, but good to have you in here, pal. I'm out of here, people. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night and your weekend, and I'll see you all very soon. Big up to Michael, big up to my dad, big up to Captain, to Pete, to Super Matty Taylor, to Meeks, AVFC85, to Mum and Dad. Hi, if you're still listening at work, and to anyone else who's in the stream. I appreciate it. We're out of here, people. Ta